Hi, good morning. This is Dana, and I'll be talking in this video about the matrix. Well, this is a very broad topic and extremely complex. Um, uh, so I will just briefly make an introduction now, and I will try to systemize all the information I know in later videos in such a way so it will be efficient and useful to you. I'll just make an introduction now. Everybody talks about the matrix, and everybody has different perceptions of how it works. Um, what I would say is that this is a layered hierarchy of multiple structures coming together in secret societies. They divide themselves um, among these secret societies by the type of dark forces which they serve, summon, worship, conjure, and essentially use um, in their actions. They do ritual sacrifices to those forces. So they essentially do ritual sacrifices of us, sacrificing us to those forces. So those forces would give them power to attack and enslave us. They request in exchange for this um, our rights in terms of material gain, status, official positions, money, power, gifts, and so on, pending which dark forces they work with or they work for. They attack in different ways, and I will just say a few examples. Some work through necromancy, some work through black magic, some work through sexuality, some work through aggressiveness by demon attachment, some work through sorcery. They have different ways of attacking. Um, and they divide themselves by the way they take our energy, and this is what determines what type of attack they will use. And to be very clear, this is um, something that depends also on the type of force they work with, because each type of dark force is fed in different ways. I'll give you just very simple example between Lucifer and Satan. For example, one is a white energy, the other one is a dark energy, but both come from darkness, right? But they would use different ways to attack you. Some of them take only pure energy, like Lucifer, so they will focus on enslaving children, animals, or humans, which must be kept under a certain regime of attacks, which doesn't alter the purity of their energy, right? For the same reason, for the same category, they use necromancy, using spirits in names of dead people to attack you. Um, they essentially, these ones that use pure energy, they're stealing wedding vows and pretending they have an astral marriage with you. And you won't be attacked by sexuality or by aggression and so on, but it will be a different type of attack, mostly focused on hypnosis, as they need pure energy from you. This is much like the ancient rituals. This is what God showed me when He showed me this category, like ancient rituals of sacrificing virgins into temple ceremonies. They must be kept pure because what is desired from them is pure energy. And you might be wondering why you essentially cannot have a relationship, you know. And this is why, because you are kept from having a relationship, you're blocked from having a relationship. Somebody makes a fake claim on you, and they keep you isolated, and they scare away everyone who tries to get in touch with you, because you were promised as a pure energy provider. Okay. Some of them take a specific type of energy which is required by the dark forces. I'll give you an example. In my spiritual fighting, God showed me, for example, dark forces from outer cosmos who feed on sexual arousal. So then, if they summon and use those forces, they will send to you sexual attacks only because, or they will send into your life somebody who's going to be sexually manipulating you, simply because this is the type of energy that is required to feed the force which is helping them. So it has a very sordid logic. into it, because the first reaction when you encounter this is like, why is this individual doing this to me? It's not between you and that individual, it's between you and the dark forces they serve. They don't care about you. And actually, they don't even care about your sexuality. They only care to feed the demon which they summoned. Okay, there are those who aim to own you. So they will use attacks to enslave you by hypnosis, again, by wedding vows and sacrifice ceremony, for purity, by necromancy, by spells. This is because they have special rights they want from you. For example, like you have a special purpose. You're supposed to marry a special someone that has a purpose to achieve, and they want to become that someone. They don't want to become your husband. They just want to have that right as your husband, in astral, so they can become that, so they can get that purpose and um, mm, that status which comes with the marriage with you. Um, or maybe you have, through marriage, if you also have yourself specific rights attached to your marriage from divine realm. So through your marriage, for example, you have purpose to bring into the world a special child, and they want that special child. So then they will fake all of this astral marriage at you. You have no clue about it existing, only in order to get that child from you. But they will not actually come into your life in material existence. They are somewhere hidden. There are those who aim at, on the other hand, there are those who aim at vampirizing you. So these ones will use more of aggressive attacks. They will use trauma and addictions and depression creation on you. And yet again, you will be wondering, especially if you label yourself as empath, how can I help this individual? Why is he toxic to me? How can I help him heal? No, excuse me, he doesn't want to heal. This is his purpose, to create trauma on you, because he is being sent to you to vampirize you, and then he will be mean and harmful to you in order to create that type of energy which is required. This is why I keep saying, you don't give undeserved forgiveness until you don't get to understand how it works. You don't help that person. They don't want to be helped. They are paid to do this. It's as simple as this. And it doesn't matter what you do, because he gets money from hurting you. This is what he's sent for. Okay, he does it on purpose. They organize themselves by, for example, location. So the area where you live, they have regional and local, regional, and national, and also international areas, which they divide themselves. There is one sort of boss, let's say, and then there's a hierarchy, and they decide among themselves. So they also divide themselves by workplace. So your superiors at workplace can give rights over you, what to be done to you, can sacrifice you, and they get promoted depending on how many people they offer to the matrix. This is really not a joke. This is the reason why I resigned, because during 2018 June, during attacks at me, as I was defending myself and they couldn't take me down, they were very angry, and they said, we have rights at you. So I said, what kind of rights do you have at me? I never gave anyone rights at me. So they simply said, through the workplace, because they were intel, and they said, our institution has rights over the people in your institution. I'm like, fuck off, you have no rights over me. So if and I asked God, is this true? This is crazy lunatic person, he cannot do this. And God actually said to me, he said, well, it is not true, it is not legal, it shouldn't be done, I don't endorse this, but they created such a fake system in which what he says is true. So then I said, yeah, so you claim rights over me because I work in a public institution. Well, I thought I'm serving my country, but just watch me how tomorrow morning I'm giving in my resignation, and fuck you all, and you have no rights over me. And I did so. I resigned from my workplace, and to be very clear, I had a good job. I was a diplomat for 27 years. I was highly appreciated, and I had pretty okay professional pattern. So it wasn't like I resigned from any kind of job. But I did so because essentially God confirmed to me and He showed to me this is what they do. It is a hidden bondage created within the contract you sign when you get hired, which you don't understand it because there are hidden words, hidden meaning of the words, and you don't understand what it means. But this is a system, and they do this to everyone. Okay, they also organize themselves by marriage. So literally, they have many men who or women in the reverse situation who are sent to you in your life to be in a relationship, a committed relationship or a marriage with you, just so they can claim you and have rights over you and give rights to the matrix over you, either to use you or to steal your rights, marriage rights associated to your marriage. So this is true. This is happening. There are people who do this for money. They also organize themselves by membership in different organizations. If you attend, for example, some sort of professional organizations, like I used to have a different type of clubs discussing foreign policy, security policy, and so on. You just attend there, and by being a member in that organization, it is being taught to you that this is professional network and you're going there in order to create connections and to maintain connections so you can solve professional problems later on. But in fact, they create these organizations only to get rights over you. So even the church is part of this and is giving to the matrix rights over you. And for example, your priest to which you confess to, I never knew this, that my priest to whom I confessed for 15 years gave rights to the matrix over my wedding vows. So essentially, they sort of have like a um, I don't know how to say this in English, but sort of like a parent, a godfather right over you, and you think you're confessing and you're going on the path of God, and he in fact sells you out to the matrix. It's unbelievable, but it's true. I was in shock when I learned this. They don't simply feed themselves from you, those who create this on you. All of them offer you to the matrix, so you understand multiple individuals feed from you and steal your rights. People who you never met, all connecting to you through the individual who sold you to them. There are strings from them to that individual and from that individual to you. So you don't even meet these people. So it's very hard to figure it out in the beginning. And I know this. I know this for a fact. You know that, for example, through my ex-husband who sold my wedding vows to the matrix, there were multiple individuals. And when I started my fighting in 2018, God showed me. He said, "Well, there are 49 claims of marriage at you at this point in time. This is why you feel so sick." And I said, Who? I'm single for years. Who made these claims? Why? And he showed me people that I never met. There were politicians whom I've never met in person. I only saw on TV. There were people with whom I worked at the office, and they were just in a professional hierarchy, and I never had any kind of interaction with them other than just job related. And essentially, they just make claims at you because they said, yeah, but being in he being your superior, they create this system where they have rights over you. Okay, so moving on, there's a competition among them. You might have multiple different structures like this feeding on you if they make an agreement, but this can also be used by us, and I did so as I was guided by God to create conflict among them. So this is a way to start your fighting, create conflict among those who are in agreement to use you. And this way, so you can break the vicious circle and you can start the fighting somewhere, you know. All of them use claims at you based on hidden bondage. They come together and make untruthful declarations about you, or slander, essentially. They have a judicial system, and some dude who they decided to make a judge will deliberate based on those untruthful declarations, which he knows are untruthful, and he will deliberate a punishment at you, for example, which is in fact just an excuse for them to sell you to the matrix. For example, either they take rights from you, they say you did so and so and so, hence as a punishment, we take the right for you to profess or to advance in your career or to receive money, or they take rights from you. It's just a fake thing which they create. So they will take you. We take rights from you to own property. We take rights from you to have children. We take rights from you, whatever they decide. They either give those rights to somebody else whom they connect to you with a string, stealing your identity, or at least they simply block you from achieving that, or they taking gifts from you by blocking you to use your gifts. For example, during June 2018 attack, all of a sudden God showed me that they made such a judgment on you that she is being conflictual. Hence we decide to punish her and not allow her to use her sword of light. So and they and I asked God, I asked Archangel Michael, who gave me my sword of light. I said, how the hell they did this? And they said they didn't. They just put an attachment on you, a demonic attachment, so they would block you from using it. You have to just clear out the demonic attachment they created on you. They do this so you cannot use your gift, because of course I was defending myself with the sword of light, of course. Or they decide you must be servant, like what is very well known as they did this and this and this, they broke the law, so then he must serve the community, or he must serve a specific individual. But they in fact create all of this as lies in order to steal from you, to enslave you, to put attachments on you which essentially feed them, and so on. So it's all everything is a deception and a lie. All is fake, all is a make-believe system, but it's happening to us behind our backs, and we don't know why we have so much darkness attached to all of us. All could be verified and could be proven it's not true if they would be interested to do that, but they refuse to do it just because their purpose is to block you, to steal from you, and to enslave you. So we are now at a time in an advanced stage of ascension, and people will be more and more able to see patterns and identify things going wrong in their lives, even if they don't understand exactly the entire mechanism. But this is why I'm writing for 4 years about these things on my Facebook page. This is why I'm making now these videos on YouTube, so people will understand how it's done, so they can be able to fight it. Because it is unfair, it is all a lie, and it's being used technology in order to amplify the power of attack, because they are not powerful, we are powerful, and they need to use technology in order to be stronger than us. And they use systemic institutionalized abuse of power, which is illegal even in 3D. I mean, all of this, all they do is illegal even in 3D, not to talk about astral laws. So this can be easily undone if people will understand how it works, and if they will be determined not give undeserved forgiveness, to claim justice, judgment, and punishment, and to fight for themselves and for others. And at the end of the day, what you're fighting is for God and for your union with God, because all of this darkness will at some point drag you down if you refuse to fight. Okay, I'm gonna stop here now because it's already a long video and it's very hard to upload them if they're long, and I will come back with another video about this topic. Please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel so we can make sure that this information reaches as many people as possible. Thank you.